already do, but guess what I'm doing? I'm going to get another vehicle. So this one is a little bit different, and I'll get into the what and the why a little bit later in the video, but right now I just wanted to get the video kicked off, and guess who's with me?
Howdy, howdy.
It's Daryl from Therapeutic Sawdust. See? Not exactly a collab video, but we're hanging out. It's Saturday morning, and we're on our way to Portland, Oregon, and we're gonna pick up this vehicle, and I'm completely ill-prepared, didn't bring any tools, didn't bring anything like that, so, and I'm gonna drive it home, so it's gonna be one of those kind of videos, will it make it 300 and some odd miles, so, yay. So anyway, that's what we're doing, and we're on our way, and here we go. And there it is, the big secret. All right, let me do some transactioning, and I'll do a walk around here. Well, here it is, folks, a 1976 Dodge Tradesman 200. So I am buying this right now from this gentleman from the Portland, Oregon area. Got a new battery. He replaced this. He did a bunch of work in there. He's done a bunch of stuff on this thing, and but he just says he doesn't have time to mess with it anymore. So got the patina. We know we like the patina. Look at this. Got some stripes. Got the side panel. I'll show you the inside in just a second. Got to show you something real cool here. Look at this mural. I was hoping that it was Mount St. Helens before it blew up in 1980, because this is a 1976. So if this mural was done before then, it very well could have been. But I believe that that is either Mount Adams or Mount Hood. I'll have to look, which is still cool. But paint by the paint shop, Shoppy, probably don't even exist anymore. But very cool. Does have a couple little minor dents here and here, but this thing is about as rust-free as you could ever hope for on a vehicle of this age. I mean, it's nearly 50 years old. Got the little roof rack on top. All right, let's take a look inside. Look at that crazy ceiling. Is that awesome or what? Got a couple extra seats here. This one's a little bit torn up, but we got a couple extras here so I can switch that out. The front seats do swivel. The rears are on solid mounts, but I'm gonna probably do a little bit of swapping and get the nicest one up here. But big hole where the stereo would go, but guess what? It's right there. So yeah, got some speakers in the back. I'll get those hooked up. All right, it says 68,876 miles. So the guy that I'm getting it from, his name is Garrett. He just drove it from his house. He did a bunch of work on it. It runs great, and I'm gonna drive it all the way home. The one safety caveat, how close am I? A little bit close, aren't I? Sorry, I always do that. the rear brakes are not connected. Now the e-brake is connected on the rear, but the front brakes have all been gone through and they're done, and we're gonna go for it. So it's all good. It'll be fine, right? One other thing is the license plate, 2011. It is a Washington plate though, even though I'm standing in Oregon right now. That's a Washington plate. So this van was a Washington van, and I'll find more about it. Got a tow hitch, so I'll be able to tow a trailer if I need to. That's not what I'm buying it for, but let me show you what the roof looks like. All right, you just got to see more than I've seen so far, but what you probably may have noticed is that it's got two sunroofs. So, and they're kind of interesting because both of them, they have a dual crank on each side because they're pretty wide sunroofs. So, but anyway, all right, I'm gonna stop the camera for a second here, do some paperwork and money exchanging hands, and I'll be on the road here in just a few minutes.
It's a lot of fun till somebody gets pregnant. You gotta be careful in this van, Kelso, you know what I mean?
Yeah, baby. Yep. You and me are going places.
And here we go. On the road. Paperwork done. Money exchanged. He, super nice guy, man. Wow. What a great dude. I mean, he was like meticulous, going over every single little detail he could think of to make sure that I understood everything about it. And that's pretty cool, because usually when you buy a used vehicle, I mean, they tell you the basics and the most important stuff, but there's almost always things that they either didn't tell you or forgot to tell you or whatever. I mean, he was telling me about things that I would have never even thought to even worry about, you know, just making sure that I knew what was up. And and he lives super close. He could have just you know, walked home, but I gave him a ride home, and because of that, you know, we did the paperwork in his place, and he wanted to make sure that my tire pressure was right. So he just went, just as I was about to leave, and said, hold on a second, and he made sure that my air pressure was pumped up, and you know, I've never had anybody that I was buying a vehicle from be concerned about the air pressure on the tires, so that was pretty cool. So anyway, we're gonna get to the road here and get this thing home. So here we go. Back in Washington, but a long ways to go still. How do I know I'm back in Washington? Because the roads are worse and it's extremely noisy. But hey, at least the taxes are much higher. Alright guys, well, we've made it about a quarter of the way so far. No issues, except for I was extremely hungry, but we are in lovely Kelso, Washington. Anybody out there ever been to Kelso?
What do you mean?
Anybody even like Kelso?
Yes, I do.
Well, that's where we're at, and we're gonna hit the road now. So far so good, everything's fine, but I will tell you this, the gearing in this van is really low. It's considered a truck. I actually looked on the tag, and so some of these vans were probably considered passenger vans, and they had seats and everything, and on those they would license it more like a car or a station wagon, whereas this being a cargo van is more considered a truck, so the license plate is different. But my guess is, since it's a truck, they probably geared it for torque and towing and that kind of thing. And this is well before they started putting overdrives on vehicles of this nature. So going down the freeway, I mean, it's doing 60 fine, but it's winding out pretty good. So I think that I'm gonna get back on the freeway until I can get to a spot where I can take more of a back highway, and that's more of a, like a 50 to 55 mile an hour road, and not be holding up traffic on the freeway. So anyway, we're gonna get back after it and get home. It might take a little bit longer than usual, but it should be fine, and I'm having fun. Well, made it home safe and sound. Everything worked exactly as it should. So I stopped in at my buddy Ted's work to show him. He was working today. He got another van. I don't even know if I've mentioned it, but I will. I had found a van just like this, but it was red, closer to the color of my red Dodge pickup, and but I wasn't able to get that one, and I was just so bummed out that I couldn't get that one because, well, red's my favorite color. I know it might not seem like it because I have so many blue vehicles, it seems like, but anyway, I wasn't able to get that one, and he was, so he went and got it, and I was kind of jealous, but I love my bro, and so I was glad that he got it. So and then this one pops up for nearly the same price, but as it turns out, this one's actually quite a bit better. It's got several features on this thing. The sunroof, it's got a front and rear sunroof that are like really big and nice. I think I'll put a tint on those because that sun blasts down when it's high in the sky. But it's got a huge sway bar in the front, so this thing went down the road just flawless. I mean, it was perfect. It's got a kind of a cool little rack up top that I'll probably put it's got one crossbar on it right now. It's got some extra stuff in the back. I'll figure that stuff out, maybe get an extra one up there. It's got this mural on the back that is so cool. Like I said, fairly certain that's Mount Hood that's on there. I'll get that verified, but so yeah, I don't intend on painting this. But if I ever do, I'm gonna get the paint code, I'm gonna get the bodywork all dialed in, and I'm gonna have my friend Melly, who does pinstriping old school like this, take a look at this, take pictures of everything, and then we'll sand it all down, and I will paint it this exact same color and have her redo the pinstriping exactly as it is. That's in the future, maybe. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. Right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean it all up and do that Poppy's patina. If you're not familiar with that, basically it's just this stuff that you wipe on, and it kind of seals and locks the patina in and gives it kind of a wet look. It's not like a finish that is going to last for years, but it will last probably a year or something like that. But it's become kind of a popular thing with older cars with the patina look, to just kind of lock it in. So anyway, that's going to happen with this thing soon. I got a few other things to get adjusted and dialed in. The front brakes are all done. He redid all the brakes, but I think the distribution block, he said he thinks it had a clog. The rear brakes are not working the way they're supposed to, so I'll get that dialed in, you know, safety third and all. The stereo is not in at the moment, but I've got it. I just gotta get that reinstalled, and a few other things. Let's take a look on the inside. I don't think that this carpet that's in here is the carpet that they had in it originally, and probably none of it's original, but you can see this carpet here. Let me, if you see that carpet right there and what goes up and ties into all that, this was probably a smoker's van, and it probably wasn't cigarettes, if you know what I mean. But I don't think that the main carpet down here is the same. It was probably like this blue with white stuff that was in here originally. So I'll probably pull all this carpet out and redo that. That box right over there has that Poppy's Patina stuff in it. He just gave me that stuff. You know, there's the other sunroof in the back. You know, we'll get this stuff dialed in. This is going to be a rolling, driving, enjoying it as we go kind of project, not a sit in the back wings waiting to get done something with. So, as I may have mentioned, the previous video, I was working on the dune buggy, getting that thing going. And so the deal that I kind of alluded to in that, I had to get that dune buggy going in order for getting my wife's permission, because I have a wife now, because she was not wanting me to get yet another project. And I don't blame her. She's not wrong. But, man, I just really wanted this van so bad. So when I was a kid, my dad had a van very much like this, but it was the standard length. I didn't like it. I actually didn't like that van at all, because by the time I learned how to drive, it was 10 or 11 years old by the time I got to drive it, and it was beat. My dad had let too many people borrow it, and when you let people borrow your car, they don't take care of it the way they do their own car. So that thing was thrashed, and so I was having to learn how to drive in this car that was just beat. But somewhere along the way, I changed my tune about Dodge as a brand, and I started really liking them. And it started with that red truck that I have, my pickup. And I don't know, probably about a year or two ago, a friend of mine has a van like this, and I saw it, and it started getting me kind of interested in that. And I've been kind of keeping my eye out, and every time I see one, they catch my eye. And I saw that one that Ted got, and I just was like, oh my gosh, that's the one. That's got to be it. I mean, it's so cool. Turns out that one's a special one. It's called a street van. That was kind of a Dodge's little branding thing for these cool boogie vans or whatever. I think the boogie van was actually branded for Chevy, and Ford, I think they just called their super van or something like that. But anyway, Dodge did street van. Well, I don't know if this one's officially a street van. If not, I mean, it's been done up as such, so it's so cool. This thing, it's actually, even with the little flaws that it has, it's actually in nicer shape than the one that Ted got. He bought that one, and it kind of scared him to drive on the freeway, I guess. This thing went down the freeway flawlessly. I mean, it was perfect. It's not highway geared, I'll tell you that. It was wrapping the engine pretty good, but no problems, made it home just fine. And so I gotta wait till Monday to get the thing put in my name, but once I get that, it's on, and I'm gonna be having fun with this, taking it to shows right away and all of that.
One eternity later.
All right, well, a whole lot of time has gone by since the last frame. I've had a honeymoon, I went on a camping trip, I did another video on, a second video on the dune buggy, and some bicycle content and all kinds of stuff that'll be coming in future videos. But I'm still on the van here, and I'm in the van. There's some bicycles back there in the van. So I've been driving the van around since I first got it, and it's been a few weeks now, and I love it. It's awesome. The engine seems to run really strong and good, but unfortunately not all the news is good. So I took the van over to Junior's house. You remember Junior from the Camaro and Corvette trade video. And I was just hanging out, so I didn't have my video camera. We didn't do any videoing or anything, but I was talking to him about, it seemed like it was running a little bit rich and the idle was a little bit high, and he's like, well, let's tune on it a little bit. I was like, all right. So we get the thing opened up, and he does a little bit of tuning to get the carburetor dialed in, and it seemed like it was doing a little bit better. But then unfortunately he discovered something that is a horrible truth. So what I'm going to do right now, since I didn't video any of that, I'm going to show you what it is that he and I, and mostly he, discovered He was trying to figure out it. He said it didn't seem like the vacuum advance was working, and I had said that the kick down for the automatic transmission didn't seem to be doing what it was supposed to either. If I wanted to downshift, I actually had to manually shift the shifter. But unfortunately, before we even got to address the issue with the transmission, he discovered something that is, I don't know. We'll see how much it's going to cost me. But
Sell the van, kid.
anyway, I already took the cover of the engine off. So there's the engine, Dodge 318. Not the most biggest powerhouse motor, but usually very dependable and a pretty solid motor, and plenty enough power for a cruising around van. But so the guy that I got it from, you know, he did a lot of stuff on this thing. You might be able to tell these are nice new spark plug wires and everything. Nice new distributor cap. And this distributor cap is not the kind that it would have come with. Okay. This is a kind of a more modernization. It's actually very similar to the GM or Chevy, what is it, HDI? Anyway, it doesn't have points or the coil separately. That's what it would have had, but this, it's all up in here. It's an electronic coil, and so it doesn't require points. That's all good. The problem is underneath that cap. So let me get that cap off of there and I'll show you. Okay, so we still have the cap, and this is the rotor, and so this thing spins around in there when it's running, and this generates spark. It touches here, and that goes inside there, inside of here, and it hits a point. Well, with these wires on here, it's kind of hard to flip it upside down. But anyway, that's where spark goes, and it moves around in here and hits it on each one of the spark plugs. Okay, that's all fine. This is the vacuum advance, and it's not advancing. When it's got vacuum, it should move that and give it some advancement. Okay, but that in itself, that's one issue. The real issue, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can get this in a better angle here. Okay, you see it there? Now this has been cleaned up a little bit, but right here you got some moisture. That is not regular moisture. That is what's called oil. Oil does not belong inside of an electronic device. So we have a problem. This should not be getting oil inside of there. Let me take this off and look underneath there. Come on. Okay, so once again, you've got this right here. This is supposed to move like that. This is the vacuum advance. It's supposed to move things. These things are supposed to move out, and that advances the carburetor. So, or excuse me, the timing. When that swings around, when you give it, you know, when you really rev it and the vacuum pulls on here, that's supposed to move that. That's supposed to move that. These are supposed to move out. All kinds of good things are supposed to happen to make your engine, you know, compensate for giving it the extra gas, and none of that stuff was moving the way it's supposed to. It wasn't advancing, and but that in itself, that's an issue. But the real issue is there should not be any oil up in here. So I don't know if okay, so this thing spins around and it spins down inside of the motor. There's a gear down inside there. Well, of course, there's oil inside of the motor. That should not be able to come up inside there. There should be an O-ring down on the shaft in there. Right now, I'm not going to pull this entire thing out. I will do that at a later time. The reason I'm not going to do it right now is because the video is already kind of long enough. But I just wanted to give you the update on that. So I got to figure out why there's oil in here and do something about it. So that's where we're at with this guy. I intend on doing more videos. I hope you like this van and want to see more of it. You know, some of my other vehicles that I would have thought you guys would have really loved haven't gotten quite as much love on the videos. So, but with this van, it's something that I've actually wanted for quite a while. And I know that I probably say that about just about every other vehicle I get. I always wanted a Chevy Love. I've wanted one of those. Actually, here's the real deal. I hated vans like this because my dad had one. That's what I had to learn how to drive in, and it was beat by the time I got it. I think I might have already mentioned that earlier, but anyway, I don't know when it was that something clicked in my head, but there's a few cars that when I was younger I would have hated. Station wagons was one of them. Now I would love to have a station wagon. Carly still hates them. That's okay. El Caminos. I've always loved those. Carly hates them. That's okay. I don't have either one right now, but I do have this van now. I plan on doing more content with it. I plan on doing a bunch of stuff, but with that distributor situation, probably worst case scenario, I'm going to have to replace it again. It's basically brand new, so I don't know if it's faulty. I don't know if the guy did something wrong. I don't know what you would do wrong. It just drops down in there. But what may be the problem, if the O-ring inside there got torn somehow, I don't know how that would happen. It could be letting oil past the O-ring that seals it up. But my fear is that it's something more wrong than that. Now, if I'm getting way too much crank pressure in the motor, there's just too much internal pressure, it's trying to push somewhere, and that's one of the areas it might slip past that O-ring. It could be if that's the issue and I resolve it, it might be fine. It could be I've got a whole other issue. Now, one of the things that might cause high crank pressure is if the PVC, this guy right here, if that's clogged, it won't allow the air pressure to escape. So I got to do a little bit of research on any other things that could do that, and I got to figure out, I mean, if it just needs a new PVC, there are a few bucks, that's an easy fix, but I need to make sure that I get the crank pressure at where it's supposed to be before I spend a bunch of money on another new distributor. And it just sucks because, like, I mean, look at this thing. It looks brand new. It looks like it's never been used. But I can't have it getting oil up in there, and I got to get that advance figured out. So all things to come. You know, I'll get the video camera out here when I'm doing that, but I just wanted to give you the lowdown on it. Everything else about the van has been great. I want to get some different wheels. The wheels that are on it are kind of like more 80s style, and this van is from the mid 70s, so I want to get something, maybe some old Krager SSTs or something more period correct for that. But I also want to get much wider rear wheels and get taller tires, so it has that jacked up look, you know. For one thing, the taller tires should give me better gear ratio. It should help me out on the highway a little bit. This doesn't have an overdrive. It's just 1, 2, and drive. And drive is 1 to 1. So that's like your average car that you probably drive around. If you got a 5-speed, it's like driving around in 4th gear all the time. Whatever it is, you know, most cars these days, God, they got 8 and 10-speed automatic transmissions now. But back in the day, most automatics were 3 speeds, and then they added a 4th that was an overdrive. So this thing, it's the engine's revving pretty high when you're going down the freeway, so taller tires will help with that a little bit. But the biggest thing is this distributor issue, get that resolved, and once I get those mechanicals all dialed in, then we can start working on this interior and get it, you know, looking cool and smelling better, and you know, make it so that it can be like a little weekender camper type thing too. So anyway, I hope you liked the video. If you did, if you haven't already, like I say, please like the video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Share it, tell a friend, whatever, you know, and stay tuned.